What I'm really hoping to do with this stream is talk about just the past year overall, kind of give some like hoorays, kind of talk about like the things that I think, were really great about this community this year. Even though it was like really hard this year, right? Like COVID shook the world, and what we had was Animal Crossing. like what a lot of us just had was Animal Crossing. So I kind of want to talk, I found this article, I found like a couple different articles talking about like different things that happened over the year. And I feel like this one summed up a lot of the things, but the things that I felt like all the lists were missing, and that's because these are made from Polygon, IGN, so like the more reporter type places and stuff, like just didn't feel like there was a lot of stuff that's representative of what the community feels. You know what I mean? Like in terms of like actual player base who've been playing almost every single day for the past year. And so kind of just wanted to add in some of the things that like maybe, unless like Animal Crossing was your primary game over the past year, even though I know for a lot of people it became, and for now it's like, I wouldn't say it's a lot of people's primary game anymore, but I think for the people who, or even that they play every single day, but I think there's a lot of people who are still involved in some way, shape, or form. It's like Charmaine here doesn't play the game anymore really, but still shows up to my streams, and we're still really good friends, and it's because of this game, you know what I mean? There's a lot of us who are playing Genshin now. There's a lot of people who are, playing Stardew now. There's a lot of ACNH content creators who I feel like are more and more so switching over to Stardew or just other games in general. I think the newest, like to kind of talk about where we're at now though, I feel like where we're at now is kind of the most exciting time. Like I feel like this would be the time to reinvest in the game, you know what I mean? More design slots, new items that like really cater to a lot of different themes. Like if you're here at stream yesterday, we like kind of like played around with like some of the new items, and some of the like what you can do is like even that, just that hallway, the different things you can do with just that hallway are like insane. I met my best friend through ACNH and still haven't met her IRL. I've met so many friends through this game. I know, you know what I mean? Like not just like collaborators or other content creators, but like, of course they're that also. Like as a content creator, my lean for creating friendships is going to be with like other content creators, Jess, Charmaine, you know what I mean? Like there's so many other people. And then now it's like all the homies are streaming now, like Callum streams, B streams, Angie streaming now, but then at the same time, what's really sad is that so many friends I've met through this game, it's like they don't play the game anymore, and it's really hard to stay in relationship with them because a lot of people have gone back to like work, real life things. Yeah, I think just what's really cool about this year is just this game really provided a community for people that were like really, like we were all shook by COVID, right? I think a lot of us were like grieving over friendships and seeing people and feeling lonely, depressed. I think like a lot of mental health issues came out for a lot of people. I've played other games before that are, team-based games. Like I joke and say that Animal Crossing is a single player game. I joke that because I really do feel like Animal Crossing is a single player game, because like literally once we go into multiplayer, like 80% of the game gets locked. Unless you're like literally trading or just trying to like see an island, 80% of actual gameplay gets locked when you go and do multiplayer. You can't terraform together, you can't decorate, you can't put stuff down on your own island when someone else is there. So if you accidentally kick the tile off of like a road path you can't put a new one down. You can't like enter terraforming to like lay it down. And that never made sense. I wish we could decorate together. I mean, I think the current state of the game, in my opinion, it feels like they might move that way. The 1 year anniversary update felt like they're finally moving in a direction where they're listening to us. You know what I mean? Like finally actually taking feedback of ours. The only other thing that I felt like they really listened to us about, like community, like general community stuff, was like more inclusive hairstyles. You know what I mean? Like that was the only thing that really felt like they're really hearing us in terms of what we want. This is my first Animal Crossing game, and I didn't buy the game day one. Is there anyone who here Like, I'm very curious, out of, you know, however many people are here, who bought the game day one and is still playing consistently? Did anyone buy the game like actually day one? I feel attacked. March 19, baby. Me, okay. So a lot, okay, so there's a good amount, good amount of day one. I think I was week 2. I think it took me about a week and a half to 2 weeks to finally buy the game, which isn't mentioned in here. The reason why I really bought the game, I had an IRL friend who I worked with, you know, and with work, just kind of moving to work from home, and we were unsure what we were doing and stuff like that. Like, she was like, yo, get this game Animal Crossing, because I know you got a Switch. She bought a Switch just so she can play Animal Crossing. And I was like, what is this game? And then all my friends, IRL friends who would play I would play like local Super Smash Bros. Like tournaments and just like, you know, like local stuff with them. I had noticed that they were all playing Animal Crossing, and I was asking them, like, what is this game? What do you do? How do you win? And they're like, there's no winning. You just like do these things. And I was like, huh? This makes no sense to me. The concept made no sense to me. Like, zero, none. What happened was I started to get more and more intrigued because I didn't have anyone to play Smash with anymore. You know, working from home, everything was kind of like, you know, up in the air with like work and stuff like that. I was wondering like, shoot, am I gonna lose my job? You know, like those were real concerns a lot of us had. And then, so I was getting intrigued by this game. And then I stumbled upon like a Reddit thread called ACNH Streetwear. And that's what sold me. There was a whole Reddit thread early game of people just recreating streetwear, like clothing in game. And that's all I wanted to do. I'm a sucker for character customization. And so I was like, yeah, I want to recreate, you know, Amélie Dor and Nike and, you know, all these things that I'm into and post about it, share with this. I remember like the community would do like squad pics together, and I was like, this is tight. This is really cool. Sucker for the fits. Oh man. And yeah, I was a real sucker for the fits. And then I bought the game. That's all I did for the first like month that I had the game. So like all of March, that's pretty much what I did. That's when I would do daily chores. That's when I was actually doing chores and stuff like that. But the biggest thing was being able to unlock Abel's sisters. Like in the streetwear like Reddit thread, everyone was just concerned about unlocking Abel's sisters, so that way we could, you know, get like everyone else's like codes like for just clothing and stuff like that. This is before like I cared about roads. This is before I cared about anything else. Like the goal was also to hit 3 stars. Of course, I was like working on that, but I was like doing anything I could to get Mabel, like the Abel sisters, open. My ACNH closet is my dream closet. That's kind of like what sold me on the game, was like, I'm just going to like recreate my closet and then also put my dream closet on here, right? So that's what like sold me on the game. And then kind of like seeing Instagram, like because I don't think I actually started my Instagram account until May. So like, you know what, month 2.5 of the game had come out. And so that's when I started I'm pretty sure I started it like soon after my birthday. So it must have been like May. And I felt like I had already been following from my main account some ACNH accounts, like who I call like first wave like content creators on like IG for Animal Crossing. A lot of them I followed because they were part of like the streetwear stuff. Like if I look at my early following on my AC IG, it's like ACNH, it's like AC Fashion Archive, who was like huge. If you don't know, like they did stuff for like Vogue, like activations for like Vogue, stuff like that. Also in there for sure was Queenie, Okinawa Island. Like Queenie was the first island, like was the first like IG account that I saw that I was like, I should maybe start an IG account, and also kind of like launched me into like going full force in like terms of like city core or whatever you want to call it, like doing a Japanese like city island. Honestly, I feel like getting 5-star was pretty easy. Yeah, and then we can even talk about that. Like, I don't think 5-star is the goal of the game. I think a lot of people then started feeling like, okay, once I hit 5 stars, I beat the game, right? Like I get the Lily of the Valley or whatever, but how many 5-star islands now look bad, you know? I think the bar was so low, and that's what I think has really been interesting, is seeing what was trendy at the time in April, May, versus like how the community has innovated items, like created, you know, crazy new things. Crazy how all these OG creators just went for it and the amazing success that they achieved. Yeah, I think like that's beautiful. You know, and you can throw Charmaine in there too, right? The Reddit famous flower field. Like, I still don't, like, I've been going at this consistently for almost a year. I have been creating content for close to a year now. Like May will be kind of like the 1 year mark for me. And I still haven't gotten as many, I still don't have as many subs on YouTube as Charmaine has, who hasn't done content at all since like summertime of the game. You know what I mean? Like, we love self-made Charmaine. It's crazy. Getting the Lily of the Valley was the ultimate goal back then. Lily of the Valley, gold roses, blue roses, and just blue and black flowers, I remember, were such a hot commodity. But especially like gold roses and a crown. I remember the crown was such a status symbol from Abel's, because it was like, wasn't it like 1,000,000 bells or something like that? So that was like a huge status symbol in the community, I remember, right? So it's just crazy to feel like, you know, or to see where we've come, you know, like where has it gone? Now you can just get them on treasure islands weren't really a thing back then. That's what's crazy. Remember crown spinning? Remember duping crowns? I remember when there was the dupe glitch way early game, and people would dupe crowns and just other like high price items, and then Nookaza, you know what I mean? Now we're a bunch of dirty cheaters. Oh, how dare we? So this is where we're at now. This is where we're at now, right? The future. 50 design slots added. This was like I said, the Mario update was kind of like, this is them showing us that we can get quality of life updates to a small degree. And then this was like, oh, you're listening, and them showing us that they can do more quality of life updates and they can listen, right? Like 50 design slots, I would have taken 50 more, but I'll take this. To be honest, I would have taken 20 design slots. I've said this before, like when it came to slots, if it came to anything like that, what I want to see in the future, right? I want to see more quality of life updates overall. If they're gonna keep rolling out events the same way they're doing, I don't want it personally. Like I don't want it. I'll take a quality of life update over that any day. Give me faster loading screens, not necessarily loading screens, but give me faster dialogue screens when you're talking to Wilbur or at Dodo Airlines in general. Give us island hopping, so that way we don't have to go from on a villager hunt, we don't have to go to an island, then back to our island, to back to another mystery island. That's what I want. Terraforming, multiplayer terraforming would be really cool. More than one terraform block at a time. Know the color variation of an item in your pockets. Oh my God, that would be wonderful. Customizing more than one thing. Yeah, bulk customization, bulk building DIY. Only getting rid of a custom tile if you're in designer mode. Please. All of these are great. Like, all of these are like really great. These would all be like super cool to see. This would never happen. I've mentioned this before in like certain streams, but since this is gonna get cut down to a video, I just want to say it. One thing, like, I would pay for all this stuff. I don't know about y'all. Let me know, like, in chat, in the comment section when this gets edited down, like, if y'all would pay for these things. Because I would. It would never happen. It would never actually happen because Nintendo doesn't do any loot boxes or I mean, paid DLC happens in like Smash Bros and stuff like that, but they don't do any sort of like gacha system and loot boxes. I think that's why like Genshin is having issues with coming to Switch, is because of the gacha aspect, right? I would pay a monthly fee. Like, how I would see this is like, this is comparing it to gacha games that I've played. Like, I'm gonna take it to, for example, Fire Emblem Heroes that I play. There's a $5 a month pass that you can buy. It gives you extra resources. It gives you like the ability for some of the quality of life stuff that just isn't afforded. Like, you can still play the game without it. It's like an addition. It's like an addition to it, right? Addition, not it's an addition. It's an addition to the game. Like, basically in Fire Emblem Heroes, it's like I can go from one stage to the next without having to go back to the original menu, right? Like, they'll auto do that for me. Whereas like that's similar to like how Dodo Airlines works. If you go to a mystery island and instead of coming back to your island, you can just go hop to another one. I'd pay $5 a month, honestly. Honestly, I would. I know that's never going to happen with Nintendo. Like, I know they will never do that. I'm just curious, like, it's just something I thought of because I'm like, I know other games that do this. You just pay for a quality of life thing, $5 a month. But I know people don't have the resources to even pay for a Nintendo Online, right? So I want to be sensitive to that. Like, I'm not saying this is what they need to do. I'm not trying to say that at all. It's just interesting. I personally would do that. You know what I mean? Nintendo can get all the money if they did all of this, but you know, to be fair, there's a lot of game publishers who do stuff like this. I'm talking to you, EA and 2K, right? That do loot box stuff like this, and they do get the bag, but they like fumble on the execution. It's really easy for these publishers to be like very money focused and not player focused, which is interesting because it feels like when it comes to Animal Crossing, it doesn't feel like either to a certain degree. Yeah, hair update with the warp pipes and the recent quality of life with design slots and stuff like that. But I don't think they'll ever do this kind of like pay system, which is to a certain degree really good. You know what I mean? Like it was really good that they wouldn't. It feels ethical, I guess is the way to put it. But all I want is an addition. Like all I'm trying to say is like it'd be cool to have that as an addition for the people who want to play multiple hours a day, or just give us a version of a creative mode, right? Or a creator's mode like in Minecraft and stuff. I think something like that would be really cool. The slots was a big deal. It took a whole year. That sucks. It took a whole year, but it's here now. We're still here. And it makes me think they might be listening. You know what I mean? They just might be listening. Which like, I can hold on to some hope. I don't want to like hope too much or too big and then be disappointed, but I can hold on to that for a bit. You know what I mean?